Hey guys, just wanted to bang this video out real quick because I'm getting ready to go on a camping trip, and I wanted to try to get my Gear Evolution series restarted, recontinued, whatever. And this one's going to be on shelter, so we'll have the big three out of the way. I did two last year, the sleeping and packs. So now this one's going to be shelter. I think after this we'll be able to get to the stuff I think people are really probably a lot more into, the cutting tools and cooking and gadgets and things like that. So let me get this one started. Let's see, starting with my first backpacking tent. This is a one-man solo bivvy tent. I forget the brand name. It's like it's called a Trekker or something like that. I thought it was pretty cool at first, and it wasn't bad the first couple times. Mostly because it wasn't raining. The next couple times that I used it and it rained, I was really unhappy with it because, I mean, when it was nice out, you know, I would just go to sleep in it. I didn't have to hang out in it. I hung out more around a campfire, and I would just get in it and sleep, and it didn't bother me that there wasn't that much room. I mean, I had a bug net over me. That's about all that really mattered. But when I got caught in the rain in this, for one, the rainfly needed waterproof, which could be done, but my issue was being confined to basically a coffin and not be. You can't even sit up in this. I mean, it literally just, there's about this much space between your face and the top of it, so I really wasn't into it. I haven't used it in like, I don't know how long. I'm thinking about keeping it for my get home bag, just for the bug net. So there's that, my first tent. Then I got this tent, and I think at the time I was still using that tent, but I wanted a two-person tent just in case I had somebody else go with me. And this is a Eureka Apex 2. It's alright, a little on the heavy side. It's like 4.5-ish pounds. Definitely roomy. It was nice. I didn't like carrying it because of the weight, but I did carry it once in a while at that time, a few times. I actually took it out last Monday on a trip, on a kayak camping trip, then did not even pull it out of the sack and set it up, ended up cowboy camping. So literally the last time I used this was 2011, like April or May of 2011. So it really hasn't got much use. Okay, then at that point, that was when I started getting interested in hammocks. So my first hammock, was the Hennessy Explorer ASIM, which I loved. Let's see. With it came, I keep this separate. I did used to shove it in with that too. With it, and this isn't a ribs, it's in my rib stuff sack, but I don't really use this anymore. I've got two of them actually. The stock fly that came with the Hennessy, almost right off the bat, the first few uses, I realized, and I tell everybody this who gets a Hennessy, don't just, right off the bat, you should just be upgrading to a bigger rain fly, because the stock fly that comes with these, it's borderline useless in my opinion. It's just not enough coverage. So I upgraded next to the Hennessy Hex Fly, which I love. It smells musty right now. Maybe I need to take that out and let it air out. Hennessy Hex Fly. I loved it. A lot of space, a lot of coverage under it. And then once I got this, I started experimenting with more with tarp camping. And during the winter, I would just use this a lot of times, because obviously the hammock at that time, I did not have an underquilt, so I was back to having to deal with I considered a tent the winter after I got the hammock, and I just really wasn't into carrying either one of these tents that I have. So I just started, like I said, experimenting with tarp camping. I didn't have to worry about bugs, so tarp made me happy enough, and it's much lighter. So I got this, and then I played around with other tarps too. The big, I don't know if you can see them, but I have some poly tarps around here, just some cheap Walmart ones that I used. And I also used a reflective emergency tarp type deal. And I think the little blue tarp, I may have used it, I can't remember. But I used some smaller tarps and some poly tarps, just trying them out. And then, just really simply because I didn't like the, like I said, I was doing the tarp tent thing more in the winter time. The Hennessy Hex Fly tarp is a kind of a dark jungle forest green, I guess. And I just kind of didn't like that. It really stood out in the winter time, you know, when everything's dead and stuff. So I bought this coyote brown one. It's a Bushcraft USA 10x10. I also thought that this would I could do a little more configurations with it, you know, because it's a square tarp instead of the hex cut, and I like it. A little cheaper too than the Hex Fly. Bushcraft USA 10x10 is what that is. And I also use it with the hammock sometimes too. Just like I said, mostly for the collar. Let's see. Then this is another tarp that I tried. It's actually it's Bushcraft USA too. Bushcraft USA like 9x7 poncho tarp shelter. I didn't really know how to set it up. I didn't get the hood closed right, and basically I ended up sleeping in a puddle during like a 12-hour downpour. Luckily I had the Soul Escape bivvy with me, so that kept me somewhat dry. But I might like to try to use this again, but I don't think that I would like using this as a shelter during a rain any more than I would the bivvy, really. I mean, if I had to, I guess it'd work in a pinch, but it wouldn't be my preference if I knew that it was going to rain. Let's see, next I kind of got the tarp at the same time as this. When I was trying to go a whole lot lighter, I got the Ultralight Backpacker ACM Zip Hennessy hammock, and I also put whoopee slings on this, kind of modded it out. I was trying to get as light as I could, and I like it pretty well. And with it, I carry this a lot too, just for the tarp camping. It's a Cuban fiber, hammock gear Cuban fiber Hex Fly. It's slightly smaller than the Hennessy Hex Fly. Hennessy is like 10x12, and this is like 8x11 or something like that. Super light, super crazy light. I mean, it's like 6 ounces or something like that. It's a camo version. It's very expensive. But so this is usually what I carry when I backpack. I will still carry, and this is probably what I'm taking today on my camping trip, is this. because I'm going to be car camping, so I don't mind the weight. Yeah, this is probably right now my, for the most part, go-to shelter. That's where the evolution has led me. Hennessy Ultralight Backpacker Ace Zip and the Hex, Cuban Fiber Hex by Hammock Gear. What have I got here? I don't even know what I've got in my hands. I don't even think that's anything. I might say though that with this I bought I thought that's what those were. I used Lightspeed hammock straps. They were actually meant to be used with some sort of buckle system or something, and I stripped that off. They're really long, so I can, which makes them just slightly heavier, but I know that I can handle pretty much any size tree that I need to hang from. So that's what I got for that. Was the like I said, Lightspeed straps, modified, I guess. Then I got the idea, and this is my most recent purchase. I got the idea that I could go a little bit lighter than this during the winter when I don't need a bug net. So I ended up trying out the Eno single nest for wintertime, and I do like it, except that I should have gotten the double nest instead of the single nest, but it definitely saved me weight. And I think it's pretty comfortable too. It'd be more comfortable with a double nest. Actually, it's fairly comfortable as a single nest, but I had a problem, I'd say, I guess mostly with my top quilt kind of overflowed and was kind of falling out of it because there just wasn't enough room for me and the top quilt. And with this, and I didn't bring them out, but I'm using Atlas straps with this, which I like too, but I prefer the Whoopies just because there's a little less material, no loops. Of course, I think maybe that these are longer, maybe not, I'm not sure. But so that's it. That's where I'm at right there. I do plan on getting a double nest though before next winter. So that's it. That's the Shelter Evolution series. And like I said, this is where I went from this to that. So I'm not sure when I'm going to put out the next one, but I'll try to get to it as soon as I can. What am I doing next? I don't know for sure what I'm doing next, but it's a Shelter series, Shelter episode. Thanks.